Hey guys, Phid and McAwesome here from Downunder The Ring and Fightful, and we're here with Bryan Danielson
Yeah,
here in Sydney.
it's here in Sydney.
Yeah, how's the trip been so far?
It's been great. People say this,
Yeah.
but you can't say it enough. Australian coffee is the best coffee in the world.
Well, it's funny you say it because literally the biggest news last week in Australia was John Cena says Melbourne coffee is the best in the world.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was all over the news here.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Yeah, I mean, it's just I don't like coffee.
You're not a
Like,
coffee drinker?
yeah, well, so no, I am a coffee drinker, but I didn't start drinking coffee until we had our first child.
Oh,
And then to
that'll
me,
do it.
yeah, and it's like, okay, I need caffeine, I need caffeine. And I resisted it for so long. And then I was just like, you know what? I only do cold brew.
Yeah.
Because it goes straight down the hatch and I don't like it.
Yeah. Well,
I
in my opinion,
Yeah.
American coffee is garbage 90%.
Yeah,
You know, super sweet, and usually the obsession with cold coffee is weird to me.
Oh, no. So the reason why I do cold coffee is because I don't like the flavor.
Oh, I'm
And
talking
so
about just generally, like, people going to a Starbucks and it's like basically a soft drink of coffee.
yeah, but the benefit of cold coffee is you can just down it.
Yeah.
Hot coffee, you cannot do
Yeah.
that. And so, so even here I've had nothing but cold brews.
Yeah.
And it's so much better. Like, I sat today and I enjoyed my cold brew.
Yeah.
And versus like, I don't do that in the United States.
No.
I just get it down.
That's what I love about a hot coffee here is that you sit and just enjoy it, and
Yeah.
it might take you half an hour to drink it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Well, look, we'll start things off. I want to sort of say off the bat that I've decided to do things a bit differently with this.
Oh, perfect.
There's a few podcasters and stuff here in Australia in the wrestling scene that didn't get the opportunity to be here.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd see if there was anything that they wanted to ask as well. So I'll be shouting them out throughout as well
Okay,
for questions. But I'll start things off with, in May 2021, you joined AEW. I'd really love to know, what was the deciding factor in you deciding against having, like, you could have had a long, cruisy run in WWE,
Mm-hmm.
but what was the deciding factor in jumping?
There was a lot of different factors. But here's a couple things. I was uh I was ready to try something new.
Yeah.
Right. It's not that, I had just main evented WrestleMania, several months before. And it's not like there wasn't more I could do. But one of the things that I thought was I wasn't necessarily challenging myself, although I will say this. They started WWE started they asked me to start helping with creative and
Yeah.
being on the creative team, and I was learning a lot. Like, there's a lot of people there that I really enjoyed working with that are still there and still doing creative. He's not popular online, but I loved working with like Bruce Pritchard, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like, and there's these
I
are
just watched his interview with Cody yesterday. It was great.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's been in wrestling for a long time and is a really smart guy, and so it's just like, there's the idea
We've
of
forgotten more than he remembers.
yes, yeah, and so it was like, okay, there's growth I could have, but it's not necessarily from the wrestling aspect. It would be from the backstage aspect, and I don't think I was quite ready for that.
Okay.
And I was watching AEW, and I was like, in my mind, I was like, can I do this? And one of the things that got me to thinking that was I had watched Cody versus Penta,
Yeah.
and Cody, and who I used to ride with in WWE,
Yeah.
right? And he did this top rope Frankensteiner on Penta. And I was like, and I just went like this. I was like, oh my gosh, if Cody's doing that, like, it's a different game there, right? And so anyways, that idea of challenging myself, there was also the idea of schedule. It was the pandemic was just kind of coming to an end, and when you get back on a full-time schedule with
wanna do the right
WWE,
stuff.
you're on the road all the time. At that point, we had 2 kids, and I was just like, you know what? I think I'm ready.
Yep.
I think I'm ready to be on the road less, and then if I want to wrestle, like, I want to be able to wrestle the way that I like to wrestle best, which is hard.
Yeah.
Like, while my body can still do it. I like to wrestle hard. And that also means sometimes wrestling stupid, which I've done plenty. And so,
We'll say, and I've got a group chat with a whole bunch of mates, and the
Yeah.
amount of times during your matches there's been a comment come up, and it's like, Bryan, we don't need you to do this anymore.
Right, yeah,
You've
yeah.
proven yourself. You can
Yeah.
enjoy your career now.
Yeah, but it's never about proving myself to anybody else. It's always been about,
Yourself.
can I still do this,
Yeah.
right? Or can I do this? Or can I, it's challenging myself in different ways. Because at the end of the day, I still love wrestling and I still love trying new things. And, you talk to Adam Copeland, and for a while there, he was trying one new thing in every match he was in AEW.
Oh, it was
And it's
exciting.
like, yeah, it's like, and it's great
Yeah.
until he jumps off a cage and breaks his leg.
Maybe not jump up a cage.
And so it's like, we're older guys, right? And so it's like, okay, you should probably set some boundaries on some of that kind of stuff. But I'm not great at setting those kind of boundaries. So yeah.
Yeah.
But that, there was that. And but the reality is I was also contemplating just walking away then.
Yeah.
And
Well, I've heard the stories about you actively trying to get fired by you just saying dumb shit on
talking smack.
talking smack.
Well, yeah, that was a different scenario because I'd been forced to retire.
Yes.
And so, but I thought I could come back to wrestling.
Yeah.
And they weren't, for a long time, they weren't letting me come back to wrestling.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, maybe if I do this, I could get fired.
I have to say, like, I've never been one to watch an after show, and so I loved you and Renee.
Oh, yeah.
Smack,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
also, you became a massive highlight to me with my kids when I never watched Saturday Morning Slam.
Oh, okay.
I never watched it
Yeah.
until my kids started watching it, and I was watching it one day, and then you were on commentary, and I was like, "This is the funniest show." And I literally started watching it every morning with my kids because
Yeah.
your commentary was just hilarious.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah. Like I had a lot of fun doing commentary on that show. And a lot of guys
Be a bit more silly and
Well, and I mean, there were some weird rules on Saturday Morning Slam. Like we weren't allowed to punch, or I think we weren't even allowed to like strike, right? So it's like, because it's a show
kid show.
marketed for kids.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, but there were a lot of fun. There were a lot of fun things about doing that show, and I like being challenged like that. A lot of wrestlers hated wrestling in the pandemic.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I thought it was an interesting time as a wrestling fan because it was the first time in a long time where all the shows, whether it be WWE, AEW, TNA, Ring of Honor, were all on the same playing field.
Yeah.
And I started watching a lot more Ring of Honor and TNA because of it, because in my opinion, they were rising to the top when it came to knowing how to do no audience. It was great.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, a lot of WWE wrestlers who haven't wrestled outside of WWE and have just come in through their developmental system and stuff like that. And I'm gonna talk about Baron Corbin, right? For just a second. And you have to understand, I love Baron Corbin.
Yeah.
And like as a person, and whenever I got a chance to wrestle him, I loved it.
Yeah.
But it's like, we're in the pandemic and there's nobody, we're in the performance center. There's nobody there. He does a move, something, and then he just turns to the camera and goes, "Who's the man now?"
Yeah.
And I was just like, there's nobody here, right? And I found it a really interesting time to see, okay, what works in this scenario and what doesn't. And what I found, I was very proud of the way that I wrestled in the pandemic, and the things that I thought of to, like, okay, you can do this, but you can't do that. Whereas like in a big crowd, it's not like intricate mat wrestling is not.
It gets lost.
It gets lost.
Yeah.
But during the pandemic, you could do intricate mat wrestling and it worked.
Yeah.
And you could do hard hitting things where in a loud arena, sometimes people can't hear it.
It just gets
But
absorbed.
but when Claudio and I were uppercutting each other around
Rough.
pandemic, and you could hear everything viscerally, and I thought I did one of the best jobs at pandemic wrestling. I was very proud of myself. But then Roman, because he had he had a history of leukemia, so he had to take some time off. But when he came back, I was like, oh, he came at it from a different perspective.
Yeah.
And his was, you do more talking while you're wrestling.
Yeah.
So you're narrating part of the thing yourself.
Yes.
And I was
Almost what the commentary would usually do.
Yes, but also like a bad guy in a movie, right? So in a bad guy in a movie who's like...
And that's basically the character he came back with.
Yes, yeah. And I think, the levels that he got to after that, because before that, he was like, he was constantly fighting fans' reactions
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. And so I think that period with no fans led him to being the mega star
Yeah.
that he became, because then it became like, okay. And then once crowds came back, then they were into it.
Because we'd had months to buy in.
Yeah. And so it's like, and and that was actually one of the things I said from a creative standpoint when they had brought me on as in part of the creative team. I said, this is our opportunity to start building new people, which we desperately needed at the time. And because for a while there, they were doing no noise. Then we went to the Thunderdome,
Yeah.
and the Thunderdome was a bunch of people on screens.
Correct, yeah.
But the noise actually came from a button.
Yeah.
So
I
the
think
people,
I think we all suspected that.
yeah, the people on the screens weren't making any noise. It was a button that was making the noise. And so I
I mean,
thought,
things were already problematic with some of the stuff that was showing up on the screen.
yes.
You'd imagine like the problematic stuff if you were getting audio as well.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it would be the worst. And so, but it's like, oh, you could debut somebody, and like I had pitched this really hard, and we actually brought him up from I think he was living in Tampa at the time, but he was part of the developmental system. Oh no, we were doing the Thunderdome in Tampa. He was living in Orlando. I thought, like, let's debut Damian Priest right now. Let's have him come in because he's tall, he looks like a star, all this kind of stuff. Let's debut him against Roman, and not in a match, but it's like this thing. And then let's hit because I saw Vince do this, and it was really weird. He was like, okay, louder. I want the crowd noise louder for a certain wrestler. I want it louder. And then other guys were out there. He goes, oh, no, that's too loud. Quieter. I was like, why would you ever make it quieter? And so it was like, so let's have Damian Priest go out there and let's hit that noise button, like
bring it right up.
Yeah, like bring it right up, because he looks like a star. He's taller than Roman, and like Roman at that time was super dominant. So it was like yeah. But anyways, it was a fascinating time period in wrestling, and I could geek out about it for a long time, you know, because
I think it was amazing watching everybody try and figure it out.
Yeah.
Each company trying to figure it out. I mean, that's where I discovered Danhausen was during that.
Oh my gosh,
And
yeah.
I became a huge fan of
Oh, Danhausen's great.
still to this day.
Yeah.
But it was his stuff at Ring of Honor where I was like, this is unique.
Right.
He's taking advantage of this intimate environment.
Right.
What he was doing was getting over because of that.
Yeah. He's a really smart guy.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, how would you explain AEW to someone that may have only ever watched the alternative, and why should they come to Grand Slam in Sydney?
so those are two kind of distinct questions.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like describing, AEW. So I would say WWE tends to be informed more by like drama and like outside of the ring action, right?
I've always said that WWE's a show about a wrestling show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in AEW, you get more actual in-ring wrestling. You get the wrestling that you see is more action-packed. It's more hard-hitting. It's more high-flying. I would say it's a more exciting style of wrestling. Although, but I'm not going to take anything away from the guys in WWE. Some of the guys do that, or that sort of thing. But that's not what they're going for.
Correct.
Right? And so, and then one of the things that I really like about AEW because also wrestling is character-based. One of the things that I like about AEW and that I loved working there is that the characters that you see on TV are closer to people in real life.
Yes.
And so it's not
quite as cartoony.
Yeah, not quite as cartoony. Have a little bit more nuance. Have when they do things, and you have to say there's always going to be exceptions, right? In both companies, whenever you say these types of things, and people will say like, oh, Brian's bashing WWE. I'm not saying that at all.
Correct.
There's different ways of doing things, right? But I think it's a more genuine, and I think the people within AEW, because of how Tony runs it, are closer to the characters that they want to be, the characters that they desire to be. So yeah, that's what I would say about that. And then what was why should they come to the show? Oh, it's just because it's fun, right? And so, I mean, I think when you go to a live AEW show, it's a great time.
I have to say this because was it last year? No. Yeah, last year was in Perth for the WWE Elimination Chamber. Then early this year for Grand Slam in Brisbane.
Yeah.
And personally,
Mhm.
I thought the WWE show, great spectacle.
Mhm.
I had more fun at the AEW show in Brisbane.
Right.
Smaller venue, but it was just amazing. It was
Yeah.
just- everything was action-packed. The breaks were not put on at all.
Yeah, I don't want to knock WWE at all.
No.
They put on a great they put on a great spectacle, and it's like
It feels like a TV show though, like more for TV than it is
Yes.
for in the arena.
Yeah, and so and I think Tony Khan, because he's such a diehard wrestling fan, cares so much about the fan experience, and so yeah, and that's what I would say. I would say it's just a blast. I think so. My nieces, who are they're getting a little bit older. My oldest niece is 15, soon to be 16, but they've never been wrestling fans. They don't watch it on TV. They love coming to the shows.
Yeah.
And it's just like, because you get so wrapped up into it.
Yeah.
And it's so entertaining, and then it's so, I don't know, live professional wrestling evokes so much visceral reaction.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like the hitting, the this, the that, the whatever. It's like it's just fun. It's just fun. It's a fun spectacle. And this year in Sydney, it's Valentine's Day. Great.
It is too.
Yeah, great date night.
Yeah.
I'm a hard guy to get a gift for. And
This would be a perfect gift.
this would be a perfect, this would be a perfect gift.
Even just someone who loves a good day,
Yes.
a good night out.
Yeah.
That's what I think of it. Maddie from the Grap Chats podcast has a question for you. Is there a match you're incredibly proud of that you think more people need to see?
Oh, I don't think anybody needs to watch any of my matches. But I mean, I'm proud of a lot of my. I mean, the ones that I'm most proud of are the ones that are the most difficult, right? And so two of the matches that I'm super proud of is that I did in AEW are I did an hour draw with Hangman Page on live TV, and doing an hour of wrestling in the modern
I believe
era.
you did two of those hour-long ones, right?
So I did an hour with Hangman Page, and the other one I was going to say, and I did an Iron Man match with MJF, which was actually over an hour.
Yeah.
And I was proud of both of those because I've always been, I'm a wrestling geek, right? I love 80s NWA, Ric Flair, always doing these 60-minute draws. I mean, and that's and not just 80s Ric Flair. I mean, that's even you look at the 70s NWA World Champions and all that kind of stuff. They're always doing these hour-long draws, and I love that style. I love that thing. But
I think the challenge there is keeping people entertained for an hour on TV.
And that's the thing. And I was very proud of both of those matches because I thought we did a good job in the modern era where everybody I don't want to say everybody, but so many people watch their phones or watch their TVs with their phone in their hand.
Right.
And the second they stop being entertained, they go this, and then they don't go back to that.
Yeah.
And so those matches I was very proud of. But I mean, as far as people needing, I was proud and pleased with a lot of my matches. Some of the matches I had against younger wrestlers and stuff like that, some of the matches that were just very difficult. For example, I wrestled Kazuchika Okada and broke my arm, and we still had 10 minutes left in the match, and I wrestled the last 10 minutes with a broken arm, and I'm like, it's stupid, but I'm proud of that, right? It's like, so yeah, I mean, there's lots of stuff like that, so.
All right, and to follow that one up, my wife, Chris, actually has a question, which is, what's the worst match you've ever been in and why?
Oh, gosh. I mean, I've had some bad ones. I'm trying to think of the worst one. That's, I would have to really, because this is what's happened. I'm a generally positive person, so those really bad ones, they're gone. They're gone. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, gone.
Yeah. I mean, you can look back at your early career, and some of those matches are just rotten. But, yeah, I think. Oh, do you know what the match was that I was most displeased by?
Okay.
And I mean, and this is in a long time. I was in WWE, and I turned into a bad guy. I was the planet's champion.
That was an amazing run.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. And anyways, I was wrestling AJ Styles, and you think like, oh, Bryan Danielson and AJ Styles, this is going to be great.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we'd wrestled like 3 or 4 times on TV in the last couple months, and then at that point, people weren't super excited for us to see us wrestle again. It was at the Royal.
Around about that era was where we were starting to see a lot of repeat matches.
Yes,
Yeah.
and so this is Royal Rumble 2019, and also the people who came to that show, the one thing they wanted to see is Becky Lynch win the Royal Rumble.
Yes.
And we came after that. We were the match right after that. And it was also during the time period where WWE was doing like long pay-per-views. And we also had a really bad finish. And so it was like all of these things. And it was just one of those matches where when I got to the back, I was just like, you know, and me and AJ AJ Styles is so good. But it was like, I've had so many fun, great matches with AJ, including we had one during the pandemic for the Intercontinental Championship, and I loved that. Might have been my favorite match I did during the pandemic. And anyway, so this, I'm not putting this on AJ Styles at all. It was just like it was a bad night for us. Everybody has bad nights, and it just so happened to be on pay-per-view. So.
All right, you've wrestled in Australia a few times in the past, including with World Series Wrestling. WSW here in the early 2000s. What memories do you have from them, and will we ever see you wrestle in Australia again?
Well, a bigger question is, will you ever see me wrestle again? And that I don't know. So whether I'll wrestle in Australia again, that's an even different conversation.
Because the follow-up question to that is going to be, would we see a yeah, nah chant instead of the yes chant?
A what now?
I knew I'd get you on this one.
Okay.
So it is colloquialism in Australia, which is yeah, nah.
Year now?
Instead of just saying yes, it's yeah, nah.
Yeah, nah?
Yeah, nah.
Why would you do that?
I don't know why. It's just something in Australia and New Zealand, we all do it.
But
Like,
it's like, it's harder,
go get a coffee?
it's harder to do.
Nah. Or
Yeah,
nah.
nah? I mean, if you want to say maybe,
Right.
if it were a substitute for maybe, that makes more sense, because it's like saying yeah.
So you've got
no.
nah yeah is yeah. Nah yeah is yes.
Okay.
Yeah, nah is no.
Nah, yeah is yes.
Yep.
And yeah, nah is no.
Yeah.
Oh boy. And that's like, so it's taking something that's simple and making it more complex for no reason.
That you've basically just explained Australia.
With
everyone in the world has bugs. We've got complicated bugs.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is like an island unto its own, right? So it's like, yeah. What was the first part of that question?
Oh, what were some of your memories of? Do you have any cool memories from wrestling?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Back in the
So
day,
I
yeah.
can't. I can barely swim.
Okay.
I can dog paddle.
Yeah.
Right. So dog paddling is pretty much the only swimming I can do. I suspect, because no other swimmers train in it, that if dog paddling was in the Olympics for the very first year, like if we just said right now,
Yeah.
dog paddling is in the Olympics, and nobody gets a chance to train for it,
Yeah.
and you have to do it like this.
Yeah.
I suspect I would be in the running for to be an Olympic competitor at dog paddling. But besides dog paddling, I can't swim at all.
Yeah.
You know, I can tread water, whatever it is. But I was very proud, because the first, his name is Greg. He wrestles as TNT. I forget what the name of his company is. But the first show that we did for them was in Surfer's Paradise. I was here for like 10 days or something like that. And in Surfer's Paradise, I went into the ocean, where it's like, you know, you never know what's going to happen with the tides and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
With my poor swimming.
Yep.
And I surfed in Surfer's Paradise. Yeah. Oh, it was so great.
That would have been cool.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
Awesome place to learn as well.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a tick off the bucket list.
Yes. Yeah. And then the other thing is that I wrestled Shane Haste and Mikey Nichols.
Yep.
And then I'm so bad, I have a really hard time remembering people's faces.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, some people are names people, where they're like, oh, I know
I'm bad with names.
Yeah, I know I recognize you from somewhere, but I can't remember your name. I'm really bad with faces. So like, and especially if I see them in a different context from where I saw them before.
Yeah.
But usually when you wrestle somebody, you remember them. I didn't remember either. And I was just like, the number of times Shane Hayes and I actually have a joke about it now, where it's like, oh hi, because I probably met him 10 times, and every time I was like, oh hey man, Bryan, nice to meet you, and he's like, yeah, I know. We not only have we met, we've wrestled.
Yeah.
So,
I do the same. I work a lot of events and stuff, and when I meet people, I'm always like, I actually put a tweet out usually before big events, and I'm like, if you come up and say hi, introduce yourself, remind me that we've met.
yeah.
You know. All right, gonna wind things up with a few silly little questions here.
Okay.
Not a lot of people realize this, but you've sung backup on a song.
Yeah.
Tell us about that experience.
So, one of my favorite singers ever she's like an indie folk style singer named Kimmy Dawson.
Yeah.
And she had written a song about Lou Albano.
Yeah.
And she asked me to, and she asked me to backup rap.
Yeah.
And I was like, sure.
Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and it's really funny because
How come you weren't a member of the Acclaimed then?
What's that?
How come you weren't a member of the Acclaimed then?
So yeah,
Rapping wrestler.
yes, yeah. She came up with the raps. I did not. So,
But what was that experience like for you?
oh, it was great. I mean, it was super cool because we just recorded it at her house. I was living in Aberdeen, Washington, which is where I grew up, and she lived in Olympia, Washington. It was like 40 minutes from my house.
Yeah.
So I just went to her house. We recorded it. It took like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
It was super cool.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, and one thing's up here with, you once famously said you had wrestled a bear.
Mm-hmm.
Who of these AEW talent could wrestle a bear, and how do you think it would go down?
Okay.
All right, Swerve.
Oh gosh. So it depends on what kind of match it is. If it's a straight match, the bear wins.
Yeah.
Right. If it's a straight match. If it's a gimmick match, like it's a hardcore match,
Yeah.
I swear Swerve is the craziest hardcore match I've ever seen. And so like
Unexpectedly so.
yes, yeah. He would staple that bear in the tongue or something like that. And so it's just like, yeah, it depends on the style of match. You get a straight old wrestling match, I bet the bear wins. You get you add any sort of shenanigans or that sort of thing, Swerve wins.
I imagine it'd be similar, but Hangman Page.
I think Hangman has more experience with like rounding up animals.
Yeah.
So I think he does better in a straight match than Swerve. Hardcore. Here's the thing. I just don't think bears are good at hardcore matches.
No, I don't think we've got the dexterity for weapons.
Well, it's also like I think this.
Have you seen one try and set up a table?
No. I always think this when it comes to like, okay, people coming out with a chair, right? I don't know, but if I were in a fight with somebody, like a legitimate fight, and somebody, oh, come on, man, and grab a chair, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be easy, right? What is he gonna do with that chair? It's like, so, a bear is probably thinking the same thing. A bear is like, what are you gonna do with that?
Yeah.
So.
All right, now I have to say his full name. AEW TNT World Champion, Preto Star, Kyle Fletcher.
Oh boy.
I had to remember to say his whole name.
He gets destroyed by a bear. I'm sorry, Australia. If all of you Sydney people love Kyle Fletcher because he's from Sydney and all that he's also a beautiful man. I heard, word on the street is, that Taylor Swift is very interested in Kyle Fletcher, even though she just got engaged. But that said, Kyle Fletcher cannot defeat a bear.
Yeah, okay. Tony Storm.
She could beat a bear.
Yeah.
Straight one-on-one.
Yeah.
She could beat a bear. Yeah.
Yeah, easy.
No questions asked.
Kenny Omega.
Oh. Given the state of Kenny Omega right now,
Kenny Omega.
Even still, I think, I love Kenny. Kenny's probably one of my favorite wrestlers to watch ever. And I vote for the bear. I just, because I can't unthink of how bad his stomach is, and I just envision as soon as you said it, I just envisioned a bear like ripping open his stomach. I'm like, I get horror scene.
All right, and finally Mercedes Moné.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I think a bear defeats her soundly, but I mean, there's always, who knows? I was gonna make a joke about Beast Mordos, but I'll let
Enough said.
yeah, I'll let you come up with your own jokes about Beast Mordos.
Well, look, thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate you coming all the way over here to Sydney to have these chats. And check out AEW. Actually, do you know in Australia you're a Disney princess?
I'm a Disney princess?
Yeah, AEW live on Disney Plus here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I should make a thing of that. I should come out with
100%.
yeah. My daughter would love that.
You can go home and tell your daughter you're in Australia, you're a Disney princess.
Oh my gosh, yes, 100%.
Yeah.
I will 100% do that.
But yeah, check out AEW Dynamite every single week and grab tickets to AEW Grand Slam Australia in Sydney and, of course, House Rules in Brisbane. Thank you so much for your time, dude. Really appreciate
Yep.
it.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.